And after almost 37 years, a person has been arrested and charged with the murder from Garland, Texas. November 7th, 1986, police got a call about a disturbance in Garland where police say they found a knife near her body. Police charged her husband, was eventually cleared.
I mean, it's a pretty horrific crime scene. It was definitely a violent crime that had taken place.
Everything seemed like any ordinary day, and no one had any idea how it would end. After one afternoon lunch, the young married couple returned home. But not long after, they realized that they were not actually alone in their house. According to the Garland Police Department, police responded to a disturbance report at his residence in the 3600 block of Colbath Street on November 7, 1986. They had no idea what they would encounter. When they arrived, Villarreal was found dead from several stab wounds. The scene looked like something from a horror movie. Officers discovered a huge kitchen knife beside her corpse. The entire community in this town was left in shock after this. This all happened in a town called Garland. Garland is a city in Texas in the United States. It's a part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and is located northeast of Dallas. It was named after Attorney General Augustus H. Garland after two rival railroad cities, Duck Creek and Embry, were merged by an act of the United States Congress in 1887. Garland is the third most populous city in Dallas County. In May 1927, this city was hit by a strong tornado that almost wiped it off the face of the earth and took the lives of 17 people with it. No one could even suspect that something would happen to such a family. Everyone had nothing but words of praise for them, and they were often seen together happy and smiling, especially Barbara. Everyone says that she radiated her kindness. Her smile could be heard far away, and she was always ready to help others. She will forever be remembered for her kindness and cheerfulness, and this case left scars on many people who knew her. That day, the world lost one person with a beautiful heart, and one smile was violently extinguished forever. However, a couple of people were also found who may have discovered some things about the family at that moment. Although they presented themselves to many as a very happy couple, on several occasions, people saw them arguing intensely and being very problematic, so the opinions of people who knew them were divided. After this unfortunate event, the husband told his strange story to the detectives. With a lot of sadness, he described that event in a trembling and quiet voice. He said that they had been to a nearby restaurant for lunch and that everything was fine. After eating their meal, they headed home, not even suspecting that someone might be waiting for them there. There were no signs of a break-in or anything suspicious, and they entered the house as they always did. As he moved to another room, he suddenly heard the piercing scream of his wife from the room next to it. He quickly headed towards that room to check what was wrong, and there he saw armed intruders who attacked his wife. As soon as the attackers saw that the husband had come, they ran away, but it was already too late. Barbara was inflicted with life-threatening knife wounds, which later resulted in her death. The police first suspected her husband as a potential killer. After a lot of questioning at the police station, he had a strong story that he stuck to, so the police immediately removed that suspicion from their list. Then they came to the wall because they didn't know where to start. They had nothing. The only thing they managed to find were a few drops of blood in front of the house, which did not belong to either Barbara or her husband, Domingo Villarreal. In that period, DNA technology was not at an accelerated level, so often such cases were not solved. Years passed, and family members began to lose hope. They did everything in vain to find the killer, but there was no progress in this case. During all this time, the technology was perfected and it reached that enviable level where these cases could be solved much easier and faster, and this case also came to its turn. This gave additional hope not only to this family, but to everyone who has experienced this sadness and pain when a family member is violently torn from your hands and killed. Decades after the incident, an investigator's analysis of the evidence revealed an astonishing revelation. Domingo Villarreal was an alias. According to his fingerprints, his real name was Jesus Canales. DNA analysis of the initial blood sample confirmed that two people were involved here. This led police to Jesus' brother, Laborio Canales. At that time, they didn't even know that the murdered woman's husband even had a brother. He didn't mention it to anyone, not even the police, and they couldn't believe what they had discovered. As they got more and more information, The investigation opened up more as they started to get all the answers they needed to end this case and find the real culprit. While her husband died in Mexico in the 1990s, his brother was still alive and well, and in July 2023, at the age of 85, he admitted to Barbara Villarreal's murder when faced with the evidence, explaining that he had stabbed her over some sort of family dispute. The bail was set at $1 million, and he'll be extradited to Texas in the following days.
He did admit to his involvement, and he did tell us that he came to Garland and that he committed this offense.
A life was tragically taken from a person who had so much future ahead of her because of some family dispute. The family was in shock when they found out about this because no one could even think that the killer would actually be someone who was very close to her during that period. Dunderman, now 56, claims he's been waiting for news of an arrest in his older sister's death since he was 19 years old. He gave his statement after the discovery of the real killer.
It doesn't really change anything, though. We still don't have our sister. So it didn't change anything, but it's nice to have closure.
It wasn't at all easy to lose a family member in this way, and so many years have passed, and knowing that her killer lives somewhere freely and enjoys his life without any remorse must have been pretty traumatic. According to the Lovington Police Department, Canales was known to reside in the city. According to the agency, he recently crossed the border into New Mexico to celebrate his birthday with relatives. Officers from the Lovington Police Department reported that he was taken into custody without incident on July 18th. He was then taken to the Lee County Detention Center on a federal murder warrant. The Garland Police Department is appreciative for the assistance of the Dallas FBI Violent Crimes Task Force, the Lea County Sheriff's Office, and the Lovington, New Mexico Police Department for assistance in bringing the end of this cold case and closure for Barbara Faye's family, the police department said in a statement. According to the detective's statements, from the very beginning, this case was strange and very difficult for them because at that time they did not have much to work with and suspicion could fall on any man who knew this murdered woman. We express our condolences to this family and everyone who knew her. After so many years of searching, even the family began to lose hope. But in the end, justice was finally served. So many years of investigation and so much struggle led to these results and to the real culprit being behind bars where he belongs. Thanks to newer technology and constant updates that keep up with the times, more and more cases like this are being discovered, and the police are on the trail of murderers and other monsters. After this unfortunate event, the community actively works with the police in the prevention of these acts, and every irregularity in individual families is taken seriously so that this does not happen again to anyone. Now, if you like this video and would like more content like this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment on what you think about this case and what you'd like us to do next for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.